All right, let's go season the picanha. All right, choice grade picanha. Look at that. I want to start like seasoning it out here just because it's such a beautiful day, and you know, like why not, right? So just go ahead and open this bad boy up. See that? That's not even the best part. Look at that extra large fat cap. Whoa. Now you see like how the meat and then the fat cap kind of are at the same thickness. That's what you want. And even like the fat cap is sort of like drooping over, so this is gonna be good. And one thing I'll probably try and do actually is spray this with Pam, because you don't want it sticking to the grate, and maybe it'll make it taste a little bit better. All right. I play music, but I don't know if YouTube will copyright a lot of it, so you just have to kind of bear with me on this. Man, I just have to show you all that. Look at that. See it like glisten in the sunlight? Alright. I can actually smell that oak wood burning right now, all the way across the yard. Alrighty, that's how you season the picanha. Alright guys, so we actually just put the picanha on. I'm going to be measuring the temperature with a meter probe, and I'll show you guys that in just 1 second. But what I also wanted to show you is before we actually put the meat on itself, you want to try and, you know, get the wood burning like this, basically. What you want is an open flame. You want it to be running for a little bit longer than usual, because once you start to see the white ash, that will start to produce that really good, clear, almost light blue type of smoke. But with all that being said, let's put the thermometer in. We have the meter probe. It comes in like a little bamboo styled box. And it's a really cool little device. Right here along the silver part, you actually can just measure the internal temp, and then on the little black part right here, you can you know, measure the ambient temp as well. So basically whatever the grate temp is, you can be sure to measure both sides of it. So a good way to like stick the probe in, I like to just put it in the thickest part of the meat. So let me move it over here. And it's kind of hard to tell because it's such a big piece of fat cap, but you basically just want to, yeah, see the fat cap and then the meat itself. I'm gonna get it right in the middle and let that thing rip, and we'll come back in like however long it takes, right? Alright, so like I mentioned in like my other video, when you plug in the meter probe into it, you can just hit beef, hit steak, basically just like picking whatever kind of, you know, cut you're actually cooking, and do picanha. You can see that you can sort of set like the desired temp. I just like to keep it at 135. It tells you where to insert it, you set it up, and there we go. Now It's gonna like take some time to sort of like estimate the cook, but that's really all there is to it, man. You obviously want to try and close the grates and the vents and everything, kind of let the air go all the way through the smoker to get maximum smoke for your picanha. And you can see the firebox vent is wide open just to get more airflow, because you want to try and get this thing hot and fast. But this is going to come out excellent. And then once this thing is actually done smoking and it comes up to around like 135, I'm going to try and reverse sear it on top of this little grate right here. I'm right on top of that oak wood from my grandparents' ranch. Alrighty, so it looks like the picanha is just about at the temp, but I actually prefer my picanha at around like 145, so I'm going to use this as an opportunity to reverse sear it right on this grate right here. So let's do it. Got my tongs, and notice how like I spread it with Pam. That's so this won't stick onto the grate. Flip the fat cap around and let the juices drip down so it can get some extra char on it. Alright y'all, so this is one of my last steps I have for picanha. I actually was reverse searing it a second ago, but it looks like the fire is getting choked out, but there's a ton of flames everywhere. I just checked the meter probe and it's at about like 140, so I'm going to keep this on here until about 145. And I think that's around like medium, so that's really how I like it. So just going to let it sit on here until then. But just take a look at that fat cap. Let's take a look at the wood and everything. Just enough wood for the picanha. And then this is like a good technique too, like if you like one of the things I like to do if I'm running out of wood or I'm running out of like fire and the wood starts getting choked out like this, just open up the grates, get the airflow going, maybe even like sit down here and you know, start blowing inside like the firebox. Just anything you can do to get like air current in. That's what I like to try and do, and so far it's working out great. Alright guys, so picanha is finally ready and it's hit about 145 degrees internal. So right now we're going to be putting it in this little pan so we can let it rest. If we want to come in and zoom in on it real quick. And that's all there is to it to rest it. So we're going to bring that back inside and wait to slice it. So catch y'all later. Alright guys, so let the picanha rest for a little bit. Came down to about like 140, so it came all the way up to 145 to hit the medium temp, and then came all the way down. So if you come in and zoom or take a look real quick, I mean, bright red, right from the smoker, oak wood. And one of the first things I'm going to do is just pull the, come over here again. I'm going to pull the thermometer out like that, and then I'm going to promptly cut this bad boy in half. Are you ready for this? Wow, look at that. Bam, smoked picanha over post oak. Look at that. Look at that fat cap. Alright, here's the aftermath. Just went ahead and sliced and diced this thing. And just to give you an idea of how, you know, juicy and fat-filled this thing is, look at that. Look at the bark on that thing. Totally melts in your mouth. Oh, I'm gonna start eating it. So hope you guys have a good Sunday and stay tuned for more. If you can drop that out.